Hello guys, Techmaster back with another video. So today we're going to be talking about some iPhones you should absolutely not buy in 2022 and are considered horrible values. The first one, iPhone 10. So this phone is really old now. It came out November 2017. It was really expensive. Don't get me wrong. At its time, it was super advanced, but you still have to pay like $250 to get this thing, even close to $300, and it's not going to last very long. It's only going to last another year, basically. So, for that price, I would probably not recommend buying that phone. You should go up to something like an 11 or maybe even a 10R or a 10S or etc. Yeah. Next one, iPhone 10s. Even though I just mentioned that, I think the iPhone 10s was a horrible value phone. It was a minor upgrade from the iPhone 10. It was the most expensive phone when it first came out, and I just think that phone is not very good. I think it was a horrible value, and I don't think it should be considered, to be completely honest. And the Max too. The Max was also incredibly overpriced too. I think the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max were night and day difference. They were incredibly much better in every single area. So I would not recommend buying the iPhone XS or XS Max. Next one, iPhone XR. This phone has a terrible camera, and it has a low quality display. It lacks a lot of features, and it was an incredibly overpriced phone, like more overpriced than the XS. This phone was $800, basically, and it was just an iPhone 8 and an iPhone 10. I mean, no one would want to get that. Look, obviously, if you have this phone, you can keep it, but I would highly recommend not buying this phone anymore, under any circumstances. I mean, I think all these phones I'm talking about, I think were horrible values, and just aren't very good, and you should just definitely consider not buying these phones anymore. Next one, iPhone 6s. Do not buy this phone. It is unsupported with software. I honestly think, out of all the phones that were supported, that phone was easily one of my least favorite phones ever. I mean, I think that phone was a terrible phone. It never has been a good phone, the iPhone 6s. I think it was a very minor upgrade from other previous older phones, and yeah, I think that phone was terrible. Like, literally terrible. It was, like, so bad, the iPhone 6s. And, yeah, those ones are really bad. I do not think you should buy those phones anymore. I mean, I think that there's way better options out there. Next one. So, obviously, like, this is still actually a decent phone. I did say don't buy this phone. The iPhone 8 Plus is a decent phone, but it's not going to last very long. It's already 5 years old, so I would probably not recommend buying that phone either, nor the iPhone 7. Obviously, these are not bad phones. I think the iPhone 8 Plus and 7 Plus and the 8s and 7s I actually thought were pretty good phones. The iPhone 6s was a terrible phone, but the 7 was actually a pretty good phone. Like, I honestly think that phone is pretty good. It's just pretty old now. It's 6 years old, so it's not, and it's unsupported with software, so I would highly recommend not buying the 7. The 8 is only going to get another, it's the lowest supported phone, so I probably wouldn't recommend that one either. But they're not bad phones. They're just, you know. What else? Well, obviously, do not buy the iPhone 6. I mean, people already know that. That phone got discontinued 4 years ago. And that phone stopped at iOS 12. I think that phone, the iPhone 6, in my opinion, was a horrible phone. Like, literally, at an 8 megapixel camera, it was $1,000 basically, and it got 4 years of iOS support. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. Paying $1,000 for a phone that's very minimal upgrades and only lasts 4 years. I think the iPhone 6 should never have existed. I mean, it was a terrible phone. Like, look, I know I said the iPhone 6s was bad too. Look, that phone got a lot of software updates, but that phone, I just didn't think it was very good. It had terrible battery life and a terrible camera. The iPhone 6s, I mean, the 6 did too. Don't get me wrong, the 6s did have 12 megapixel camera, but like, it just wasn't. It was a small phone. It didn't have a very good camera. It had terrible battery life. That phone actually had like the worst battery life of any of the iPhones. Basically, had 11 hours of video playback. Look, it may seem like it. It's not actually that long, but that phone was terrible battery life. That thing got like 4 hours of battery life. It was terrible. So yeah, that's another thing. Let's see what other phones not to buy. Let's see. I don't think there's any other phones. Yeah, not really. I mean, I guess that covers it up for this video. Obviously, there's phones that are newer, like a 12 mini. That wouldn't be my first choice, but you could definitely still consider those. I mean, those phones are still incredibly powerful and consistent. Obviously, a 12 mini is definitely not my first choice. It would definitely not be my first choice. Look, obviously, it's now like $300 because it's no longer new from Apple, and carriers have a bunch of deals and stuff. But like, I honestly think spending a little bit extra money getting the standard 12, to be honest, is a much better idea in my opinion. Because you got way better battery life, way bigger screen. I mean, this iPhone 12 is a 6.1 inch screen, and I love this size. It's amazing. So, anyway, that covers up this video, and yeah, see you guys later.